Hey, this is Christy Knight here, and you're watching the best of Style X.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm ready. You ready?
Sure.
Kelly, this is like coming home, a qualifying event here, kind of in your roots, where you surfed as a kid. How does this feel?
It's cool. I mean, the only thing that I wish is that we had a little bit more sand, because it's a little bit chewed out from the hurricanes. But anyways, it's really nice to have an event back here, and it'd probably be interesting to go and talk to some of the kids and see what they think. But there hadn't been a pro event here, like a real qualifying series or a national, international pro event here for a lot of years.
A lot of years, and so it gives some kids who wouldn't actually get to even compete in something like this a chance, which is nice, because you were once one of those kids on this beach.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gives everyone an opportunity around here to see some of the best surfing, and at least in America, if not in the world. And as this contest grows, it's going to more and more guys are going to be coming along too, because it's along with the Surf Expo, and I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Aki show up, or Andy Irons, or Tosh Burrows, those kind of guys show up as well. So we'll see what happens in the future with this event. But I think next year is probably going to be a 4-star, and then if we get good waves for it, 1 or 2 years, it'll build the event too.
That's right, and you're part of it, and I know everybody thanks you for kind of helping to get the ball rolling with this. Talk about New Year 2004. Look back, some highlights of 2004 for you.
Janet Jackson's top coming off.
That was everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else?
God, I'm a pretty good interviewer. I caught him. He doesn't know. You know why? Because in your life, you have like every day. It's pretty good.
My life's pretty good. I mean, last 6 weeks I've been in Hawaii. Before that, I was in Barbados for a week. I was in Brazil for 2 weeks before that. I was in Europe for 2 months before that. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's usually pretty hard to pick out a highlight, but some of the waves I get to surf throughout the year are pretty amazing. Surfing the Gold Coast, and we go there in March, and I had some incredible surf there. I had a day. Probably one of the highlights last year for me was a day I had with Ross Clark-Jones, Tony Ray, and Maurice Cole down in southern Australia, and we had about 50-foot face waves we were towing in, and there was no one else around, and that was pretty awesome. That's an experience I'll remember forever.
And he's like a mind reader, because my next question was the perfect day for Kelly Slater. Would that go in there?
Yeah, pretty close to it. There was only 3 teams out there, and we were 2 of them, of jet skis towing in, and so that's pretty amazing. But I generally like warm water. It was freezing cold. We were in 5mm wetsuits and hoods and everything. Best day for me is just getting some fun surf with friends, maybe playing a game of golf and playing some music and having a dinner.
Speaking of music, the man hangs out with Jack Johnson a lot. Now, you get involved with those videos a bit, don't you, with you and Jack?
Yeah, I've produced a couple movies with Jack now. We did September Sessions. I worked on Thicker Than Water, and we traveled together a lot for that. And that was like really his first film coming out of film school. And that was right when he was getting into music. It was funny, that was in '98 we were shooting that, and he was playing us songs that were already a couple years old, like this song Flake was like his first big hit, And I think the first time he ever recorded that, we were sitting in a hotel room, or in a house that we were renting in France back in '98, and I was playing drums on a wicker cabinet, and it's funny because nothing's really changed with Jack. I mean, he's still the same exact guy. He's an amazing, humble person, and he's a really great guy to be around. And I think everyone just had the feeling like this is the place Jack should end up, because everything he does kind of turns to gold. And so we did September Sessions together, and now we just made another movie called Broke Down Melody that just came out. It's just come out like in the last month or 2, and I think they just premiered it last night at the Kind Diego's.
We didn't get to go eat burritos last night.
So yeah, but and not to plug Jack too much, but he's actually got this incredible opportunity right now. Okay, Well, let's do it then.
Yeah.
He's been hired to do all the music for the movie, for the Curious George movie.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh, how cool is
they
that?
came to him, and I don't know if he's keeping this under wraps or not, but you know,
We'll find
it's
out
not going
on
to come out for like another year. But he just told me this funny story about a week ago where he met Will Ferrell, and because Will Ferrell's doing a voice on the movie. Jack is basically the voice of Curious George because he doesn't talk, but he talks through music. So whatever Jack writes is basically what he's thinking or whatever.
Yeah, that works out.
But then Will Ferrell told him when he met him, he said, "I threw your CD in the garbage because my wife listened to it too many times, and I couldn't get it out of my head." But
I think a lot of husbands would do that. Yeah, I think the two of them are kind of a deadly team for the husband pack.
maybe I'll have to talk to Jack sometime and see if he can get him back. We can get him back here for a concert for this.
He's reading my mind. You should see my notes. My question was, what would it take?
Your notes over your shoulder here.
Yeah, well, it's not there. Yeah, it's on my back. But yeah, what would it take to get Jack Johnson here? I mean, we could start a whole thing with our show. Have people write in. I mean, what's a good venue here?
I don't know. It basically is just hitting Jack up at the right time where it probably fits into his
Well, it's not Hawaii.
touring schedule. It's tough because right now is Hawaii time for him to relax and be home with his family and stuff. So.
You're being so kind talking to us. I don't want to stop because I had a list like this long. The book, great book, Pipe Dreams, but it's only, you're young. It's only the first part of your life. Are we going to see a second part of this book?
You know, I was thinking, when I proofread the book and stuff, I was thinking I could write all this stuff again and say everything totally, like everything, I could, because I would read something and then it would remind me of some other story that happened at the same time or something else was going on in my life, and I was thinking I could rewrite that whole time and not talk about anything I talked about and do another one. So it's, I mean, it's an interesting thing to write a book about. It's a strange thing to write a book about your own life, but it's interesting to look back and read it and then remember all these things that you forgot at that time.
Do you keep a journal?
No.
You need to, at least maybe just...
busy.
He's got a great memory because he can see a board in a picture and say, oh, that was from 86.
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah, all right, well...
This guy walked up with a shirt yesterday. He goes, "How old were you in this picture?" And it was a picture of me on an old ESA shirt that was all torn and tattered. I go, "Oh, that was 86.
It was 80s. We're reading each other's minds. This is crazy. I'm going to have to let him go. Yeah, that's good. Kelly, thank you so much. We wish you great things. We follow you. The book, go out and get it. 6-time world champion, going for 7, right?
Yep. That's where we're at right now.
And 8 and 9, and there's no retirement.
I don't know. It's hard to ever think about like a true retirement where I decide I'll never surf contests again. I mean, that will probably happen when I'm in my 40s at some point, but...
Oh, that's really old, too.
Yeah. But, well, for competing on like a international level it is.
Yes.
But we'll see. If I were to win a title at this point, I'd be the oldest world champion. So.
Well, let's shoot for that. That's goals. And then when he retires, he wants to go live in Hawaii, have a farm, grow all his own stuff.
I'm already working on it.
Okay, good. All right.
Hey, you're watching StyleX with a couple of chicks here.